Hey Jeff, how's it going? Darling, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Hey, Jennifer, I just...
What was that again, actually? You cut for a second. Say again?
Sorry. Said I just got back from walking the dog.
Ah, nice. Well, I guess we need to talk about what's coming up for 10.
What was that? You cut out there for a second.
We have episode 10 of The Download.
Sorry, it's still cutting out. One more time?
I said episode 10 of The Download is coming up.
Microsoft Advertising.
The Download. The Download.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Download, episode 10. Double digits. I'm Jeffrey Colon alongside my co-host, the notorious JSB, Jennifer Solomon-Baum.
Hey Jeff. Wow, episode 10. What does that mean?
It means episode 11 is up next.
Math genius.
So what do we have for episode 10, Jennifer?
It's gonna be a good one. We have a big interview, and not a virtual one. Actually, in person, we have Taylor Lorenz from the New York Times. She's here to talk about internet culture. We're delighted to have her. Also, we sent our team to Advertising Week in New York, one of the first industry events to go back to a hybrid format in the US, to get a sense of why people attend physical events again. There are 4 reasons we think you're gonna find this interesting. But first, here's This Month Insight, featuring our colleague, Annalisa Kirolico.
To quote professor and best-selling author Adam Grant, "For generations, we've organized our lives around our work. Over the last several decades, we have worked longer and harder at self-anointed jobs like Chief Hustle Officer. Company time has been any time, and toiling away until we collapse has become a point of pride, something to humble brag about on social media. But this non-stop rise and grind lifestyle has come with a huge cumulative cost, our physical and mental health. Well, a global pandemic has a way of making you slow down and focus on what's really important in life. The great awakening of the last 18 months has given rise to a new type of consumer, the self-care enthusiast. These are people who seek a healthy balance in their lives, from searching for nutritious recipes, to answering emails, to planning a vacation, to attending a virtual work event. Self-care enthusiasts consciously switch between business and personal time throughout their days. As consumers, they are 4 times more likely to search for hobbies and leisure activities, 3 times more likely to search for travel and food information, and twice as likely to shop for cars and retail goods than your average searcher. So as marketers, how do you reach them? Here are 3 things to know. Number 1, time is precious for the self-care enthusiast. So consider highlighting the time management benefits in your products and services, and cut down on all the steps required to make a purchase, or this group is likely to leap somewhere else. Number 2, make the customer experience personal. Self-care enthusiasts put themselves and their loved ones first. Your messaging should show respect for this and promote products that enhance their physical and mental well-being. And number 3, understand that not all self-care enthusiasts are the same. We see unique behaviors the further we dive into their personas. Leverage in-market audiences in your search and audience campaigns to ensure you're engaging these consumers in the right way at the right time. With more people now planning their work around their lives, consumers are evolving. Make sure your business is evolving along with them. Want more insights? Check out all our consumer behavior research at microsoftadvertising.com/insights.
We sent our team to Advertising Week in New York, one of the first industry events to go back to a hybrid format in the US, to get a sense of why people attend physical events again. There are 4 reasons. We think you're going to find this interesting.
As the rate of COVID infections begins to stabilize, people are ready to get on with their lives. One litmus test and yet another new normal is attending events again. Technology and virtual meetings have been a valuable stopgap over the last 18 months, but it can never replace in-person experiences. And so a basic question emerges. Why do people attend events? To find out, we went to an expert. Megan Cunningham and her marketing team at Magnet Media conducted research to uncover the fundamental reasons why people gather together.
One reason people attend events is for unique experience. And I think what's fascinating about this moment is we can integrate technology and all that's new and innovative with the serendipity that's been a classic reason why we gather.
For me, as part business development, part client service, part inclusion marketing, it's important that I'm able to hear what's trending in our industry first person.
Another reason why people come together is for a social connection. Really, we've learned that who you're with is more important than where you are.
I'm looking to be part of the advertising industry in the future, and I feel like this event would, give me a great start.
In a time that we've gone, a year and a half without social connection, it's a thing that we're craving.
Just being around people, listening to what people are talking about.
We all have challenges. Reasons why we attend an event could be a solution to a business challenge. What we've seen is educational opportunities are phenomenal reasons why people come together so that they have actionable insights that they leave with.
It's great to hear feedback from all around the industry about what's new, what's changing, what opinions are, and what's working and what's not working.
We launched a few new products last week, and we launched it specifically so that we could have a follow-up here and be in person, be on panels, socialize.
The last reason why people come to events is for exclusive access. And VIPs are attractive for both a virtual event and an in-person event.
Last night at the Apollo Theater, where we had Mary J. Blige headlining, tonight Anderson .Paak headlining. The hybrid component is wonderful, allows us to extend and reach a broader audience. So that stays. This is a genuine hybrid event, both live and on demand, and we have an audience that is growing globally, so it allows us to extend our reach, adds to the live, but the fundamentals of human experience and being together, that's only more important today than ever before.
When it was safer to be virtual, I was a full advocate of that, but now that we've taken precautions and it feels safe to be in person, I want to be with people, and that's kind of what we do. We like people in this industry.
In-person events. So what's your take on this?
Well, I mean, the reason that I think so much of us enjoy going to an event in person is the unique experiences that happen at those events. I mean, some of our colleagues are at AdColor, and they've told me what they like the most is bumping into people they haven't seen in a while, that serendipitous experience. I can't tell you how much business I do when I go to events. That's not a planned meeting, it's just bumping into someone that you haven't seen in a while, so I think that's important.
And there are certainly things that translate really well from an in-person to a virtual scenario, like keynotes, conversation. Panels don't at all. You have to be in person for that. The other thing, the other lesson perhaps is really around social connection. Networking, to your point of serendipity, like networking in person, it's only possible in person actually. It's very difficult in a virtual space.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Hey, how about our big interview? Pretty big.
I would say it's massive.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been trying to set this up for a long time. Our special guest was named to Fortune Magazine's 40 Under 40 list and Adweek's 2020 Young Influentials who are shaping media, marketing, and tech.
And if you want to know where culture on the internet is headed, you need to read everything she writes.
Taylor Lorenz, tech reporter for the New York Times, is our big interview. Great to have you here. Always good to see you. You've written about everything from like TikTok life hacks to F You Pay Me, which is a creator platform owned by women. You know, we're in the third decade of the 21st century. What do you envision where the internet should go, since you basically write all about it?
That's a really good question. Also terrifying that we can even say that. I'm still stuck in like 2019. I'll just talk about sort of social internet, which is my specialty in terms of, I write about sort of the way that we connect and communicate online. I definitely think there's been this trend towards more, I guess, what a lot of people call decentralized communities. I would say smaller types of communities. We were mentioning Discord earlier, actually, before we started filming. I think that things like that are going to grow. I think that these big bloated social networks a lot of them have kind of reached a saturation point where people are feeling fatigued, and they are like really moving into smaller groups, whether that's a Discord group, whether it's kind of a community around a certain NFT. Crypto has the opportunity to kind of like disrupt a lot of things when we think about Web3 and stuff like that.
Creators, it's a term that everybody throws around.
Yeah.
Almost reminds me of, 10 years ago when everybody was a DJ. Why is it so important to, the growth of so many networks? And I'd love for you to touch on how influential creators are in sort of remixing and remaking advertising.
I think it's obviously a buzzword in tech for a reason. I think, especially with the pandemic, we've seen, again, this decentralization of work and more people, starting businesses, building a business around their personal brand or interest space, or just kind of going full-time freelance and making a living in a creative field. I think for a long time, creative people have gotten kind of a raw deal. And the power of the internet is obviously that they can kind of hopefully capture more value. For a long time, this was impossible because the platforms themselves weren't interested in that. I think it did take TikTok to really prioritize creators, put those creators first, facilitate, monetization for them, and for other social networks to kind of be put on notice. YouTube had done that for years, but YouTube, it's so much, the barrier to entry is so high that it wasn't really like a thing yet for the masses. It's hard to get subscribers and grow your YouTube. And then you have these other platforms sort of filling in that gap for every other type of creative field. I'm a reporter. Obviously, Substack has been a huge shift in the media industry, and just more writers being like, I get a salary at a media organization, but where is that salary going? Am I capturing the value that I'm actually able to bring?
Isn't this what we sort of all were like looking for when it came to a creative economy, or is,
in terms of the advertising industry, obviously there's this big move towards creators as well in the past couple of years, influencer marketing, because the people have such tight bonds with different creators that they follow. Like, they really do develop these parasocial relationships that just make them more susceptible to whatever that person's promoting. And now I think the next phase, you're going to see more creators starting their own brands. Big creators are already doing that, like big YouTubers, big influencers. You've seen that, whether it's Emma Chamberlain launching a coffee company, or Nelk's like seltzer brand. I think that creators are starting to realize, hey, why am I doing all this advertising for Banana Republic or something? Why wouldn't I just launch my own fashion brand, which I know better than anyone what my followers want? I can capture, once again, it's about sort of capturing more value.
So that's interesting, because the influencers or creators, I should say, almost have like their own first party data because they understand who their audience is. So it's like, hey, instead of me taking some money from someone else and promoting them, I'm just going to go create my own things and then push it to them because I know who that is. So they have more control there, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and there's all these platforms that are very early stage, but starting to build to facilitate that. I'm thinking of one called Pietra, which recently raised a ton of money, it allows creators to work with different supply chains, and they kind of handle a lot of the back end, or you can get really in depth and customize it a lot. And it allows you to just the way that Shopify did that for the web, where it allowed people to set up really easy e-commerce stores. You're just seeing more and more people, like these platforms allowing people to kind of productize themselves in different ways and launch brands of their own.
So you have a book coming out. Tell us what the book is about, the title, how exciting that has been to actually write your first book.
Yeah, my book is called Extremely Online. It's for Simon & Schuster, and it's basically about the rise of this entire industry. So I think a lot of people look around today and they're like, whoa, you see these influencers, you see these sort of forces being exerted on our economy, and it's really about how that became a thing from sort of the late aughts to now, from the rise of the earliest days of like bloggers, YouTubers, to the heyday of, Vine and Instagram stars, to today's economy and kind of what's next. And specifically, the book is about what all of this is doing to Gen Z. So Gen Z is the first generation to really grow up immersed in creator culture. The content that they consume, from entertainment to advice and learning, it's all driven by creators, and it's like, and they're the most entrepreneurial generation in decades. And so it's kind of like, how is that affecting, I guess, kids today?
Taylor Lorenz of the New York Times, thanks for joining us here on The Download.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome back to The Bot, a crash course in search marketing for newbies and experts alike. Last time we talked about 4 factors of SEO: content, technical, reputation, and engagement. Then we unpacked factor number 1, content, and how important it is to put your business keywords in page titles, headlines, and URLs. Now let's get nerdy with factor number 2, technical stuff. A crucial ingredient in your website's success is page speed. This is how quickly a site loads in a browser. According to webriz.org, about 50% of people expect a page to load in 2 seconds. If it takes 3 or more seconds, nearly 60% of these users will abandon the site. And losing that much traffic can really hurt your bottom line. Now, there are 3 areas to focus on for lightning-fast page speed: web hosting, where your website lives; responsive design, how your website adapts to screen size; and simple content. Focus on your text first, images second. Let's dig into these a bit more. Your web host controls a lot of your site's speed, so choose the host that meets your business needs. If you're a small biz in just one market, ask the host if the web server is in the same city. If you're a larger business in multiple markets, see if the host has servers near all the cities you're in. The greater the distance between your web host and a prospective customer, the slower your page speed will be. Next is responsive design. This is just a geek term for a website that adapts to screen size. You've probably noticed the difference between how a website looks on your computer monitor versus your smartphone. That's responsive design, and it means you only need a single site to work everywhere. If it's fast on a computer, it's also fast on a phone. So when you choose a website theme or template, double check to make sure it's responsive. Lastly, keep your content simple. We all like animations, videos, and other eye-popping gizmos, but they can come with a high price, and that's slower page speed. Start with good copy first, then a few images. Images can take longer than text to appear in a browser, so only use one to get started. Next time, we'll look at factor number 3, engagement, and provide some tips to get tons more traffic to your site. Until then, here's wishing you a tidal wave of clicks.
Cool stuff. I'm loving The Bot.
Yes. Shout out to our colleague Jake Rice once again for The Bot. Hey, how about Taylor Lorenz? That was a pretty cool interview.
Yeah, great interview. I really liked what she had to say about creators influencing the advertising economy. It'll be interesting to see where that goes. And we sat down and talked with her even more for our Download podcast.
That's right. She's also our big interview for the podcast because we had so many questions for her.
Yeah.
So that's gonna do it for episode 10 of The Download.
Next time on The Download, we will reboot our Open Perspective segment with an exclusive interview with Bobby Jones, co-author of the new book, The Principles of Purpose.
And we'll debut a new segment called Level Up with Ty Heath from LinkedIn B2B Institute. If you like what you see, please like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends.
For all our colleagues here at Microsoft Advertising, thanks for watching. Stay safe, and we'll catch you next time. No, you didn't do it though. You forgot. You're supposed to go.